Now, a former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, on Tuesday declared that he would not step aside for any contender within the African Democratic Congress, insisting that all qualified aspirants will be subjected to an open, transparent and competitive process as the party prepares for the 2027 presidential election. Atiku also warned that Nigeria's democracy was under severe strain, arguing that the opposition was facing an existential threat amid what he described as deliberate attempts to weaken alternative political platforms. The former vice president made the comments in a statement by his spokesman, Paul Ibe, insisting that a credible democratic system cannot survive without strong and viable opposition parties. Further alleged that agents of President Bola Tinubu were bent on destabilizing ADC through internal interference and manipulation, a move he said was designed to distract the party and undermine its cohesion ahead of the electoral contest. Dr. Ladan Salihu joins us now to examine the power calculus within the African Democratic Congress and managing the clash of interest in the party. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you so very much. Good for me to be with you.
Very good, sir. Now, former Vice President Atiku, his comments, is it reminiscent of his exploits in the PDP and, part of what brought him into the ADC as well? Let's look at it from that angle.
His comments are consistent with the norms, values, and principles and practices of democracy. In any democracy, the guiding principle is the rule of law, the right of the individual to contest, to vote, and to be voted for. And the individual can come as a single person or a group of persons sharing those values independently but collectively within a given political platform, in this case, the ADC. So the comments of Atiku Abubakar are not new or entirely inconsistent with these provisions. They are enshrined and ingrained in our own constitutional provision of the right of the individual under a political platform, to not only express his views, but to contest, for an election is given to everybody on the same platform.
All right, that's well noted. Now, of course, we've seen some of the members of ADC in other parties, how things have played out, when they're all looking for various aspirations in terms of politics. But I'm just wondering, do you think the ADC is prepared for the internal competition that all these political aspirations might create?
Competition is the soup with which, the food of democracy is cooked. Competition is not new to any democratic process. It's the process of competition that makes democracy tick. And I am more than convinced that the structure of the party and the leadership of the party at various levels are well equipped. Educationally, are well equipped with the, traits and tactics and techniques of administration to see the party through some of these, challenges. I am convinced that we'll be able to run a party that is well structured, that is respectful of the rules of competition within the context and content of campaigns and elections and primaries and what have you. We as a party, the ADC, is well prepared as the alternative opposition platform to give Nigerians not only a new sense of direction, but a quality roadmap that when you look at the optics the day after any election, you will be proud as a Nigerian to say, yes, now we have a party that is operating within the rules and regulations of democratic process. I am convinced about that. We have no problems with that.
All right, Dr. Salihu, let's look at the former Vice President's claim that the ruling party, APC, wants to weaken the opposition. How credible are those comments? After all, there are movements from one party to another by various politicians. He did as well into ADC. And they do that, on their own free will. So let's have your thoughts on that.
Look, let's put this in context. In the last 3 months or so, we have seen gale of defections. And I would like to ask you and our viewers a rhetorical question, and which is, why do you think a governor from Delta State, or from Rivers, or from Akwa Ibom, with the huge resources that they have, why do they need to defect from their own political parties into the ruling party? And you ask yourself, how many governors have defected? How many senators have defected? It is simply because there is the process of a state capture where the government and the party at the federal level is so scared, so afraid of facing real-time campaigns and elections based on the scale and the levels of performance which the people will judge them. So they run to capture these governors, some of these senators and members of the House of Representatives, and everybody that they have on their radar, because they are afraid to face the people during campaign and election. That is simple. It's all a process of state capture. Don't be fooled. Look, at a time, PDP had 28 governors. It did not stop the PDP from losing power. I am convinced beyond any iota of doubt that what you see playing out today is a repeat of what we have seen in the past. You can convince a governor and a senator and a juggernaut from the PDP to jump into your party, but you don't have a strong hold on their own followers. And some of these governors and so-called heavyweight politicians are paper tigers. They are on their way out. They are signing out on their second tenure. So they will not bring any value in terms of electoral gain or mileage to the ruling party. And you can keep this space for reference. I am very much convinced that it is an ill wind that will blow away, if not blow the APC no good.
We take that you're convinced that this is probably just history replay or repeating itself. But are you prepared for the possibility that that might not be the case? I actually am going to use it as a premise to my real question. We've seen what presidential primaries can do to parties, that it can lead to destruction and decamping if things don't go by certain individuals' expectations. How prepared are you for the potential of that happening, and also the potential of what you envision things being completely different and it not being what you saw in history repeating itself in the next elections?
Cynthia, we are very much prepared. In the ADC, you have people that have been tested, at the various levels of, of leadership in this country. You have a former president of the Senate that has served with distinction, very well respected statesman, an officer and a gentleman, and a skillful politician in the name of David Mark, Senator David Mark. You have the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. You have Peter Obi. You have El Rufai. You have several others. I'm not going to make a roll call, that are not only competent and qualified and well-positioned to handle the delicate issues of governing a party, but are well positioned with their experience and pedigree to see us through any storm. And I can assure you, in the ADC today, we have more qualified and experienced hands that can handle any political situation more than the APC and more than even the PDP. So I am positive. Nobody enters politics with a negative mindset. Of course, the possibilities are there, but we are built, to face those possibilities, to confront such challenges. And I am really convinced that with the kind of quality that we have on board, that we are not brooding any fears or even trepidation about what the ADC will become as a positive force that will change the face of Nigerian politics for good.
Indeed, Dr. Salihu, earlier on you talked about the issue of followership. I'd like us to delve on that a little. Yes, no doubt the ADC has a lot of political heavyweights, as you've alluded to at the moment. But having all of that, and we still need to work on the issue of followership as well. Do you think you have that going towards 2027?
I think from what we have seen of the ADC in the last 2 weeks, the snowball effect of followership is upon us. Everybody is knocking on our doors, from the APC, I can assure you, and from the PDP and other parties, and even people that have not been particularly in politics in the past, because they have seen, not only, the body language of the ADC, but they've seen, through our vision and mission, and they are convinced that we have a platform that will accommodate everybody. And so I am so upbeat about the future. I'm very, very certain that in the coming months, you will see a gale of not necessarily defections, but people coming to pay allegiance to and register with the ADC because they want to be part of history, the history of a new Nigeria that will be upon us, come 2027.
Well, ADC Chieftain, Madam Ladan Salihu, we'd like to thank you for your time and insight, and we also wish you well. Thank you very much.